and then you divide W1 by W to get U1 prime. Variation of parameters for higher order differential equations. This is a parallel to the undetermined coefficients method. So the first part is that you will be given with a differential equation of this, like there will be a coefficient a2 of x. So a2 of x y double prime plus a1 of x y prime plus a0 of x y equal to 0. Then you will convert it to the standard form. So this will be the first requirement in this method. So you will divide by a2 of x, so y double prime plus a1 divided by a2 y prime plus a0 divided by a2 y equal to 0. And we are going to call a0 a1 plus a1 divided by a2 as p of x, and we're going to call a0 divided by a2 as q of x. So this will be the standard form. So once we have the standard form, initially we have g of x, and when we divide g of x by a2, we are going to get a new function which will be f of x, right? So we assume that the corresponding solution is u1 y1. To find a particular solution, yp of dy by dx plus p of xy. So here we are referring back to the variation of parameters of first order, in which we found a solution using a substitution u into y1. So this part is this is the homogeneous part, and this gives you the complementary solution. And similarly, this is what makes the equation non-homogeneous, and it gives you the particular solution. So if it is a second order differential equation, which it is right now, we are going to get two solutions. The first one is y1 and the second one is y2. And we add them together as we have seen in earlier methods. And yp is going to uh, now be acquired from this by having the assumption that there are two solutions to yp. The first one is linearly dependent on y1, and the second one is linearly independent on y2, but it is somehow related to y1 and y2. So uh, let's now, as we have done a couple of times before, we are going to substitute u1, the particular solution, into the differential equation. So we're going to say that now yp becomes u1 y1 plus u2 y2, and you have to then substitute in the differential equation. You will substitute this in the standard form. So in order for substitution, you will have to find y double prime and y prime. So yp prime will be the derivative of all of this. So you're going to do yp prime equal to u1 y1 prime plus u1 prime y1 plus u2 y2 prime plus u2 prime y2. So this is just the product rule applied on the first term and then the second term. So now the second derivative of this will have many so we write u1 y1 double prime plus u1 prime y1 prime plus u1 prime y1 prime plus u1 double prime y1 prime plus u2 y2 double prime plus u2 prime y2 prime plus u2 prime y2 prime plus u2 double prime y2. So now we're going to substitute. So the equation is y double prime plus p of x y prime plus q of x y equal to f of x, right? So we're going to substitute in the same way. You're going to write, so all of this is going to be like, so I'm going to copy paste all of this. So this is the first term because yp double prime is without any coefficient. So all of this will be there. And then plus p of x into y prime, right? So I'm going to copy all of this. So, and then yp, which is u1 y1 plus u2 y2, and all of this will be equal to f of x. So here there is going to be q of x as well, because the last term is yp is with q of x. So I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to show you the manipulation over here. So this is, and when you do all of this, the substitution, and then when you collect, you will have to collect the coefficients of u1. So from in this, we can see which terms they correspond to u1. So this is u1, and this is u1 with p of x, and similarly, this is u1 with q of x. So here you can see that it is u1 y1 double prime plus p y1 prime plus q y1, because here you saw that this u1 y1 is being multiplied with p and u1 y1 is being multiplied by q. So this is the collected situation, and then you collect for u2. For u2, we see that this is a u2 term, and then this is a u2 term with p of x, and this is a u2 term with q of x, right? So then this is the situation. u2 के साथ we can see y2 double prime plus p y2 prime plus q y2. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 terms, and all of these 8 terms, इसमें before we go further, we see that whenever we substitute the complementary solution like y1 and complementary solution y2 into the differential equation, we get 0, because complementary solution is the solution to the homogeneous equation, and homogeneous equation is 0 on the right hand side. So we can substitute all of this equal to 0. So we only are left with 8 terms: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In these 8 terms, if we look closely, these two terms are a product rule of u1 prime and y1. So this is the final result of combining these two terms. So these two terms combined, you get this term. You can look at it in reverse order. Like if you had to take the product rule of y1 u1 prime, you would get y1 u1 double prime plus u1 prime y1 prime. You would get this back. Similarly, if you combine these two terms, you can write them down as the product rule of y2 and u2 prime, right? So we have combined these 4 terms into these two product rules, and the rest of the 4 terms are in the same form. Then we have, so now we can combine these two derivatives as one, because derivative of two functions of x can be combined or distributed whenever we like, and the rest of the 4 terms are written in the same form, and on the right hand side we have f of x. So I'm going to just borrow this from the book, and I'm going to place it over here. So now this is our final point, right? So okay, so what happens now? In this final form, we observe a particular fact that these two terms are same, whereas this is different. On this stage, we make an assumption that if y1 u1 prime plus y2 u2 prime equals 0, and y1 prime u1 prime plus y2 u2 prime, they equal f of x, we will be able to find the values of u1 and u2. Now, I understand that this may seem a bit unconventional to do, but this is a type of implication that we are designing ourselves, and it allows us to get two equations. So now these two equations are the simultaneous equations that we require. So 1 and 2 are two simultaneous equations in u1 and u2 to help us find the values of u1 and u2. Okay? So this gives us the basis of this method, that if we now have two simultaneous equations. So this would be y1 u1 prime plus y2 u2 prime equal to 0, and y1 prime u1 prime plus y2 u2 prime equals f of x. I think there's a minor typo here. This is y2 prime u2 prime, y2 prime u2 prime equal to f of x. Now, when you have two simultaneous equations, you might remember from like linear algebra that you can use Cramer's rule to solve these simultaneous equations, although you can do substitution as well. But in this method, Cramer's rule is used, and which is that because here you can see that u1 prime, u1 prime, u2 prime, u2 prime, both are, all of these are like common. So we get the rest of them are considered coefficients. So we can say that when you multiply y1, y2, y1 prime, y2 prime with u1 prime and u2 prime, this vector, this matrix, you get the vector 0 f of x. So now what do we need to do? We need to find the determinants. You guys remember the Wronskian. Wronskian used to tell us the linear independence of two functions of x, in this case y1 and y2, and how we used to calculate the Wronskian. The first row was the two functions, and the second row was the first derivative of those functions. And this can go up to n number of functions. So if you look, we say that this thing is the Wronskian between y1 and y2. This is the Wronskian of y1 and y2. So Wronskian of y1 and y2 will be y1, y2, y1 prime, y2 prime. And similarly, Cramer's rule tells us that if we have w1 as 0, 0 f of x, y2, y2 prime, and we have w2 as y1, y1 prime, 0 f of x, then the values of the u1 prime will be w1 divided by w, and the value of u2 prime will be w2 divided by w. And if you calculate the values of w1 and w2, these are relatively straightforward as compared to w. So w1 is simple because this product becomes 0, and in this case this product becomes 0. So we say that w1 is 0 minus y2 f of x, whereas w2 is y1 f of x minus 0. So these these u1 prime can be written further as minus y2 f of x divided by w, and u2 prime y1 f of x divided by w. So even if you don't remember these are formulas for u1 prime and u2 prime. If you don't remember these, in my opinion, this is very easy to remember. These Wronskians. These Wronskians are very easy to remember, and if you remember these, you will be able to solve a second order differential equation using these Wronskians. So first you find the complementary solution, which has two parts, y1 and y2. You take the derivative of each of these terms and you construct the Wronskian. Then you replace the first column of w with 0 and f of x, and you get w1. Similarly, you replace the second column of w with 0 f of x, and you get w2. And then you divide w1 by w to get u1 prime, and w2 divided by w with u2 prime. Yes. So let's jump to the y double prime plus y equal to cos square x. So first we find the complementary solution. For that, we rewrite the given equation as y double prime plus y equal to 0. And then we make the auxiliary equation, which is m square plus 1 equals 0. And then we write the roots. And in this case, the roots are plus minus, because it will be m square will be equal to minus 1, and when you take the square root you will get iota, and based on that you will say that that the solution is e raised to the power alpha x e raised per 0 cos x plus c2 sine of x. This is the complementary solution, and once we get the complementary solution, so we can rewrite this as c1 cos x plus c2 sin x. And from here we can say that y1 equals cos x and y2 equals sin x without the constants. So now we say that since y1 and y2 are these, we can write their derivatives as y1 prime equal to minus sine x and y2 prime as cos x, and the Wronskian will be the determinant of y1, y2, y1 prime and y2 prime. So we get cos square x plus sine square x, because there's going to be a minus sign of the determinant and then a minus sign of the product. So this is equal to 1. We know from trigonometry that this Wronskian is, cos square x plus sine square x equals 1. So similarly, W1 will be that the first column is replaced with 0 and f of x. In this case, f of x is cos square x. So we write cos square x, and here we write sine x, cos x. We take the determinant again. And now again, I'm demonstrating this by using my memory only. And in my opinion, it is very easy to remember. So this is sine of x cos square x, and similarly W2 will be the determinant cos x, all of this, cos x minus sine x, and then all of this, which is 0 and cos square x. So it would be cos cube x. Now we have W1, W2. All we need to do is divide. So there should be a minus sign over here. And yes. Okay. So U1 prime equals W divided by W1 divided by W. So W1 is minus sine x cos square x, and W is 1. So we get U1 prime equal to minus sine x cos square x. And similarly, U2 prime is W2 divided by W, and W2 is cos cube x, and W is 1. So we get cos cube x. And now comes the integration part, that you will have to find U1 by integrating minus sine x cos square x, and you will have to find U2 by integrating cos cube x. And this one I think can be solved by substitution, that you can say that, assume that U equals cos x, then du will be minus sine x dx. So you replace the substitutions and you get u1 equal to you get integral minus sine x dx can be replaced by du, and cos square x can be replaced by u square. So you get u cube divided by 3, and u was assumed to be cos. So cos cube x divided by 3. So this will be the u1. And for cos cube x dx, we can go to the book and we can try to look at the integration table for a higher order, like cos cube u. So on 22, it gives us the integral for cos cube. So I'm going to just borrow that. So this is u2 is 1 over 3, 2 plus cos square x sine of x. And I'm going to skip the constant part because it is being handled separately by the method. So now the particular solution becomes u1, which is cos cube x divided by 3, plus u2, which is 1 over 3, 2 plus cos square x sine of x. And the general solution for this method would be C1, y1 was cos x and y2 was sin x. C1 cos x plus C2 sin x plus the the particular part, cos cube x divided by 3 plus 1 over 3, 2 plus cos square x sine of x. Okay, so this is the final solution, and in my opinion, this is a more mechanical method based on formulas.